Thank you, Suzanne. There is an exhibit on display at the Speed Art Museum highlighting one of the most sobering times of our country's history.
Our Sam Carter is live at the museum to show us the exhibit and talk about, Sam, why this is so important.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing today. It was a sobering time. It was a time of extreme growth in the Americas, but also extreme suffering. When you enter, you're greeted with this at the bitter and the sweet. And here to tell us about this and so much more is Jennifer. She's with the Terra Foundation. She's an assistant curator. Jennifer, tell me about this piece here, because it's dramatic, it's big, and it has a history all of its own that, you know, it's a portion of American history that maybe we're not entirely proud of, but we need to learn about.
Right, Sam. This indeed is an iron sugar kettle that's on loan to us from the Louisiana Rural Life Museum. It's part of the Louisiana State University. This kettle was made around 1850, undoubtedly by an enslaved blacksmith and used by enslaved men in the sugar boiling house, which was a pivotal stage in the sugar production process. This kettle would have been probably the smallest in a set of 4 kettles of graduated sizes.
Really?
Right. The series was nicknamed the Jamaica Train. The kettles were set over open flames, a furnace of open flames, and enslaved men would literally ladle the boiling sugar cane juice from kettle to kettle to kettle as it evaporated and eventually was granulated.
And I want to move back, because a lot of this exhibit is dedicated to that, is dedicated to showing the kind of human cost, the horrific human toll that the sugarcane made. I mean, these chests, they were owned by really the 1% of that day, if we can use that term. And right now we're looking at some of the tools that these enslaved men and women would use to harvest and really manufacture the sugar cane. We just saw them right there. Tell me what we're looking at right there.
Well, we're looking at 2 additional tools from the Rural Life Museum in Louisiana that would have been, again, made by enslaved blacksmiths and used in the sugar production process. That top piece is a sugar cane knife that was created, designed specifically for the cutting of sugar cane in the sugar cane fields. Enslaved women were also vital in the cutting of the cane in the sugar cane field. And the dipper on the bottom, the long-handled dipper, would have been used in conjunction with that sugar kettle that we just saw. And that would have been used by enslaved men to ladle that hot, boiling, dangerous sugarcane juice from kettle to kettle to kettle until it was eventually granulated.
And the last thing I want to talk to you about is this behind us here. Tell us about this and what this is all about.
Well, we are so fortunate to have this piece with us. It comes to us from a private collection. It is by contemporary artist Kathia St. Hilaire. Kathy's work will actually be featured here at the Speed in an exhibition later this year. But this is a contemporary piece that the artist herself was born in South Florida and raised in Caribbean and African American neighborhoods in South Florida. And her work is inspired by iconographic themes and symbolism related to her Haitian identity and also the Caribbean diaspora.
It really is a powerful piece of work. If you look closely, you can see that there's money involved, that woven into this, and that really is the story of the sugar trade. You guys, you can actually take a tour with Jennifer first Thursday. That's this coming Thursday. All the details there on speedmuseum.org. We'll be back after CBS Mornings with a whole lot more from the museum. Excited to dive in that with you guys. We'll see you then.
All right, Sam, thank you. A good activity for those looking for something inside to do in this cold weather, maybe.
There you go, man. And it is going to stay pretty chilly.